This program contains subject matter and language that may be disturbing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
You know, I'm a conservative guy. I believe in conservatism.
Savage, unfiltered.
The energy was high.
Whoa, GTI.
Kick his ass, man.
Your host, Michael Gardner.
Hey, what's up, Sos? How you doing?
Well, I had a cold shower. I don't know about you, but
You had a cold shower?
well, so you know my Instagram reel. So what happened was our water pump went out at our house, and
Yeah.
and so then what happened is that I have my dad owns the church and stuff, and so I just utilized what we had, and I took a shower, and I innovated something with that garden hose, like put it right on that or something like that. Innovated and was creative.
Oh, okay. Hey, whatever works, Sos, you know.
Hey, you got to do it. Hey, you got to do. It was cold. Don't get me wrong. It was outside.
No.
And I was like,
Sos, I have to make a joke, man. I heard cold shower, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
oh, I get what. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. We're waiting on Joseph. He should be strolling in here momentarily, and then also to I got Rob too. So it's gonna be a full panel, as well as our guest coming in about 10 minutes here, Kimberly Cloud, that will be on the show today, folks. So bear with us. Yeah, a full panel. So please, let's try to keep the conversation so we can all
Keep
get
that
a
shit
voice
down,
in,
you know?
because I know sometimes when we get a full panel here on the show, everybody wants to talk. So
Yeah.
yeah. So they should be joining us here. But we got Joseph, we got Sos, guys, we got Rach and Rob joining us here. So it's gonna be a rather interesting show, said the least. Kimberly Cloud coming back on the show. Haven't seen her in dog ages. So she wanted to come on here and talk about the facing issues that we're going to be discussing here on today's show about supply chain issues affecting the truck industry and now the railroad industry. I want to get into a lot of good bits here on the show. But before we get Rage and Rob and Joseph joining us here, Sash, you got anything going on, man, this week, or what's going on, buddy?
Well, I got some big. I'm going to be going down south on Saturday, and so I'm excited for that. It's going to be good going down in the hot weather. I think, yeah. So it's going to be interesting. I have big time guests lined up. I have a couple people that are running for office. They're going to be on my show, and I'm going to be doing a very special. A research actually into this Dear White Parents the film that's coming out and that's being pushed, and so I'm going to do a dive in and do kind of opposition research on them, so and then also kind of start diving into this organization that's StopOil.com or movement that's graffitiing and putting human feces on statues and on car dealerships.
What? Oh my God! Where the hell is all this at, Sos?
Huh?
Where is all this at?
You're missing it out? Oh, it's all over the news. It's in the UK.
Huh? Yeah. I didn't see that story. Huh? You said it's from the UK?
UK, United Kingdom. Yeah, it's called the Stop Oil. The Stop Oil thing is this Stop Oil thing is being very heavily active, and I'm going to dive in. What's that?
I said, oh, wow. No, I'm baffled about it because I didn't hear it. Usually, if it's a big story like that, it's all over the media and, outlets all over the place here. Breitbart, Newsmax, they all cover it. And I didn't even see that on Independent. That sounds almost like an independent story out of the UK. Was it on an independent media outlet out there?
So here are the people that are covering it. So it's Politico's covering it. They just came out with a new report 5 hours ago. The Guardian, and then USA Today, the Euro News, NPR, the Atlantic, the Open Democracy, the Journalism Report, and they're all coming out like just in these next couple of days. These past couple of days have been all coming out with it.
Oh shit! Yeah, I see it on Politico. You said Politico's covering it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't follow that liberal media crap, but
No, so I'm going to dive right on in and see if I can get a hold of one of their people, see if they can go on my show and really get a better understanding of what they're really all about.
yeah, I know we had some kind of issue here in Florida relating to that. We have a power plant not too far, wastewater actually, here in Orlando, and there was an issue with an overage pump that exploded, and it's like one of the main facilities here in Orange County, and they couldn't have control over it, and it fucking exploded, and there was sewage all over the place, and it was going into people's lines at their homes and everything, and people were getting sick and everything,
That is disgusting.
Well, that's one thing, Sash. You can't, like, when you have an issue like that, man, you have to like literally hire or make sure that you have a staff that can control all that, because like when it gets into people's homes, through the sewage lines and all that, people can die from that, man. That's human feces and stuff. That's oof.
Yeah. But here's the thing, though. I don't understand why they're with the Just Stop Oil thing, and I actually got their contact information now. So after we're done with my show that we're doing a very special episode on, it's interesting. It's because all I want to know is why are they putting human feces outside the parliament?
Nothing to see here, folks. Move along. Nothing to see here.
Red paint, and you know what they did to the painting of that artist that made the Last Supper painting?
No.
Okay, so what happened is that there was this famous painting, and they put orange feces on top of the painting that had depicted of Jesus at his Last Supper and stuff, and they just threw feces on top of the painting.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, isn't that? Well, that's a depravity of man, and this shows, and this goes under. Well, we're going to kind of cover it in this. I don't want to give the listeners too much of what we're going to touch.
No spoilers, Sauce.
No, but this is going a little bit to the attack on the Christian faith. The attack on Christians and what they've done and stuff. It's interesting. So this oil paint and stuff, and they put it like on the Rolex. They put it like they've been protesting, and people are getting arrested. But then they keep going out, and now they're showing up in it's England, and now they're showing up and popping up everywhere.
Oh God. That's disgusting, Sauce.
Well, and did you see what the Navy did? Is that the Navy's being under attack because PETA or whatever, the PETA movement, they're stating that they were protesting outside of a naval base, and they're saying, "Let's stop using the test subjects as animals and stuff." And they're going crying about it, but now they're getting a little bit. They're getting
carried away, Sauce.
Overboard on everything. Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting carried away. It's just as we dig into this story here today, Joseph's coming in right now. I see just reached out to me through the notes. Okay, thank you very much, Joseph. Writing back to him as we're talking here. And then Robert here, he's going to be coming in here momentarily. And then obviously Kimberly, she'll be here soon, folks. So got a lot of going on here on the show, doing the show by myself. Obviously, folks that do follow me on social media, as well on the show here on Spotify and iHeart and all other platforms. I am doing this show by myself, folks. Mackenzie is still in Milan. She will be back November 14th. She's having a blast over there. She's getting a lot of shoots in with the modeling agency that she's affiliated with, which I can't say on the air because of contract issues. But, she's having a good time. She's having a good time. Set aside from Mackenzie and everything, going to talk about this U.S. supply chain issue with truck drivers and just, railroad issues, Sas. Before I get Joseph's thoughts on this, before he comes in, what's your thoughts on this, man?
I broke it.
Savaged, unfiltered.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, and stating that a lot of people don't know, but the contract that the union gave and stuff it fell through, and so now we could be at another potential shutdown again. And along with this whole diesel thing needs to be addressed. And I think that a lot of people are just blowing it off. And it's interesting because Saudi Arabia said no to producing more oil for us. But like I told people on my podcast, you can't cold turkey things. I'm for green energy, but you got to do it gradually. You can't just do a sudden push, because you're going to get a lot of, we look at California, they're having black power outages. And the governor's telling them not to charge their electric cars and all that. So what do you think is going to happen? I mean, we have to gradually do it. And even Elon Musk says that what the handling and the way that they're going about this is completely wrong. It's all a power grab.
Yeah, it is completely wrong. Speaking of Elon Musk, I want to touch this real quick. Welcome to the panel, Joseph. How you doing, buddy?
Okay, I'm just scrambling to put my earbuds on here.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah. Hold that thought, Joseph. Yeah, 1 second, guys. Hold that thought. I want to answer Sas's question real quick about Elon Musk, and then we're going to dive into the main issue. Elon Musk, Sas, have you noticed in the news that he's getting a lot of heat, man, from the liberal machine, man, of him taking over liberal. Then it was called liberal Twitter. Now I guess you could say it's more conservative Twitter.
Freedom Twitter, you can call it.
Yeah. But I don't know. I to kind of close it out with the Elon Musk thing, I can't wait to see the new updates coming on Twitter in the next coming weeks. But that's another topic. But
I can't wait to see if they unsuspend me.
Oh yeah. You said you're going to wait for the appeal, right? Right, as he took over or something like that.
Yeah, I'll probably wait till the end of next month. Because I saw something about he's talking about lifting the bans automatically, so we'll see if that happens or not.
Yeah.
And then we'll see if I could get a blue check mark, because as it was before, they told me I didn't qualify. Even though now I can use the fact that I'm on the show regularly with you, that I'm podcasting as well as an author to say,
Well, Joseph, you're on not only on you are on my show, but you're on several shows during the week. I mean, they have to understand that,
Yeah. Well, I mean, on a regular basis now, so that should make a difference. But
Joseph,
you didn't issue a press release to that effect, so I don't have like a press release to announce it.
Oh, okay.
Or anything like that to share, but their degree of strictness is ridiculous.
Oh yeah. Go ahead, Sas. I think Sas was about to say something, but
yeah, no, you're good. So did you hear about the new update that's going to come about, that all the 200 people that are verified have to pay $20 a month to maintain their blue check mark? And that's I did the math, it's $5.8 million a month Elon Musk will be making off of the blue check marks.
Yeah, if they're going to require a $20 a month payment to keep the blue check mark, then no thanks. You can keep the blue check mark.
Yeah, that's what the people are freaking out about. Now they're freaking out about it. And Joseph, isn't that funny? All the liberal media and stuff, they're complaining about like Elon Musk while they drive their own car, while Tesla, like they push for electric vehicles and they push for Teslas, like majority of them drive Teslas. So they're going to, it's a whole double hypocrisy.
Hey there. Your favorite NBC and Bravo shows are now streaming on Peacock, and you have Peacock, so...
I'm all yours.
Okay. Where do you want the rest?
The rest?
1, 2, 3, 4. Can I have just a little more? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Another one? Hey! Busted.
Masterpiece.
That's fun.
You thirsty? They were all dead. Sweet dreams.
So, what are we watching? Oh, I don't understand a word you're saying.
NBC, Bravo, and so much more. All in one place. Streaming on Peacock.
About like, wow, we gotta, asserting the freedom of speech, but then, we gotta keep the freedoms going, and we gotta push electric vehicles.
Yeah, hold that thought, Soslin. Folks, we're going to welcome back here Kimberly Cloud from her show, The Kimberly Cloud Show. Welcome to Savage Unfiltered, Kim. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing very well. It's been a hot minute since we've had you on the show. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the new show's name. We have rebranded since the last time we've had you on. We're now called Savage Unfiltered. The old name, hence the old name Patriot Angle Podcast. So a lot of changes since we've had you on.
Cool. Well, thank you for inviting me again.
Yeah. You know what? This is going to be a problem because I got an order that says I can't be in the same room as Kimberly, and I don't know if that applies. Does that apply to virtual rooms? That's a joke, people. It's just a joke.
Okay.
I know,
I thought you guys had a lawsuit or something. I'm sorry.
Lord Jesus.
Kimberly, how are you doing?
Yeah.
What's new with you?
Nothing really. I just been getting on Facebook, talking about my documentary and doing the best that I can to, get my message out there to the people.
Yeah. I haven't been able to catch you quite often, Kimberly. I was trying to look for you on YouTube, and I'm like, oh, where'd she go? I hope she's still around.
Yeah, I'm always around.
Oh, okay.
All right. How's the race in California going? The governor's race.
Well, the governor's race, I actually, to be quite honest, I sat up there and I filed for the vote to vote. There was plenty of voters to vote for, and I'm still looking to vote for the midterms. But I haven't been checking on my state per se. I know who Gavin Newsom is, Governor Gavin Newsom, but I haven't been checking on who he went up against. And I chose a Republican over him when I did vote for him.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kimberly, your lovely governor there in California seems to attack our governor here in Florida, Ron DeSantis. He's spending millions upon millions of dollars with attack ads, and he's doing it intentionally.
I see them. Michael, I be seeing those ads, and you know what I do? I click on them, and I tell the truth. Would you like him to run another term? And I put no. Then he asks for money, and then I put no. I'm not giving you no money. No, you haven't done nothing for the community. Seriously.
Yeah. It's just terrible. Kimberly, I want to dive right into the main topic here since we've had you on the air here. What do you think is going on with this supply chain issue?
It is a huge problem. In fact, if you look across the commodity spectrum, we've been arguing there's commodities that are in a good situation, some that are in a bad situation, and some that are in an ugly situation. And diesel definitely qualifies as an ugly situation commodity because of three main reasons. Reason number one is that we've had a huge disinvestment in refining capacity because we had weak demand throughout the last
apparently it's back in the news, and the last time we seen this was back in May of this year when Joe Biden was issuing a press release on this issue. Apparently there's it's affecting the US. I noticed it was just 184,000 truck drivers literally turned their keys in now. Wow. That's up from last year of 84,000. Oof, tough stuff,
It's funny because you have to ask yourself, why are they giving up their keys? Why Why are so many small businesses and supply chain businesses giving up their what they believe in, like which is their jobs? It's not right that this is all happening on Biden's watch. It didn't happen on Trump watch. I actually did some research and they actually tried to kill Donald Trump. And and I'm like, okay, so it's okay for Biden to have over 500 massacres. It's okay for the supply chain and milk and basic necessities to be high at maximum, and even tampons. Obama charges you tax for tampons. Women cannot help a period. It's just not right.
Well, Kimberly, you can't. I mean, like you said, a woman needs a tampon. I mean, you can't go to the grocery store and say, "Oh shit, I can't afford tampons. Let me just use toilet paper." I mean, it just doesn't work that way.
They've got a solution for that. You're supposed to transition to a male, Kimberly.
Oh God, no! I don't want to do that. That's that left wing stuff. We don't speak left wing.
And Kimberly, you're in a far left Democratic area, right, of California?
Yes, I am. I really am, Michael.
See, on paper, you're supposed to be a Democrat, but you're supporting that right wing view, and I applaud you for that, because that takes a lot of bravery, It
is hard, Michael. Like seriously, all I try to do, is be myself, and it's like when I sat up there and I tried to be honest, I got nowhere. So, I'm gonna still be honest, but I'm just gonna keep my distance for now until I meet the right people. Yeah. And I would like to also say I apologize to you because I got mad at you, and I don't like getting mad at other Republicans. And I just wanted to put that out there on the air, even though I know it's recording.
Oh, I understand. Well, thank you for your gesture over the air. I appreciate that. Kimberly, sometimes we let the best of demeanor get the best of us, and I understand. I do apologize too if I said anything that might have offended you or made you upset. On air I could be a little out there sometimes, and hence the savage from me. That's kind of why I changed the name. But I do apologize again, and I appreciate the feedback from you as well. So, you're welcome. Sos, you got anything you want to add, bud?
Well, absolutely. So, the whole, like, a lot of people are like now talking about the railroad strike and how there's over 30% of them are about to go on strike because the union didn't agree with the workers thing. And this whole diesel thing, I mean, a lot of people understand the importance of diesel and what has an impact, and why the diesel implies if we run out of diesel, how that could literally crash this market.
There'll be no diesel generators. And then inevitably our economy will crash because everything runs on diesel fuel. Not on solar panels, not on wind farms, on diesel fuel. Diesel is not a negotiable commodity. You have to have diesel. So what happens when we don't have it?
And that diesel, it plays a much bigger picture than a lot of people think it does. It powers your homes, it powers the emergency generators at hospitals, and it powers a lot of it. And it doesn't always relate to gas. It's our necessity around this. We are dependent upon it. But once again, this is all a big power grab from California, from this federal government to control, to keep people enslaved into paying higher taxes and now higher gas prices. So while they can fill their coffers and then laugh at us as if we're stupid.
Michael Gardner, uncut, raw.
Yeah, they do laugh at us like we're stupid. Biden has this whole thing set up.
Yeah, and then Kamala Harris. What? Okay, so pardon my language, Kimberly and stuff, and this thing. What pissed me off was when we had the show, when she talked about the school buses, she talks as if we're all stupid, as if we're all dumb and that we don't know what's going on, and she laughs about it. She's like, okay. Well, your best memories are riding the bus. Okay.
So here's the thing. Who doesn't love a yellow school bus?
right? Can you raise your hand if you love a yellow school bus, right? Just, there's something about and most of us, many of us went to school on the yellow school bus, right? And it's part of,
And then I'm like, no, why don't you talk like an adult? Like there's adults in the room, there's not always kids, it's pretty pathetic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny how they said they sent the immigrants over there. I'm not prejudiced whatsoever, but I understand. Like, I don't understand what deal that Mexico and Biden has, because obviously, if they keep saying the border is secure, the border is secure, the border is secure, and it's not secure, illegal immigrants are coming over, and I'm being stalked. Women are being stalked. There are Caucasian women that are being stalked by Black males. We don't need extra violence in the United States. That's not what we stand for.
Yeah.
Kimberly, you just touched on something. I just had an episode not too long ago with David Frazier. He's known as the Preacher Man on his show, Frazier Chronicles. And we got into that in depth with black on black crime, as well as a small little segment as he got on my show not too long ago. And I agree with you. I mean, why is that happening? I don't understand. There seems to be not an issue with there seems to be an issue, but there seems to be a resolution, not, going forward how we can fix this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And, the solution is sanction Mexico for sending illegal immigrants and sanction them and put more jail time on them. This is not a catch and release thing. This is what Biden has in place, a catch and release. He catch them, and if they show up to court, then it's okay. But they're not going to show up to court because they're not that dumb to go to jail for something they know they were wrong for doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like here's the thing. Right. It seems like the left wants to focus on like stuff like this, which they should. They should focus on it. But also, how come they are not focusing on the key issues that pretty much keep this country alive, with supply chain issues, with the railroad industry? I've noticed, I live in Florida here, so I noticed that, just in Central Florida, there are more rail freight cars going down the rails more than they would normally do.
This episode is brought to you by La Quinta by Wyndham. Your work can take you all over the place, like Texas. You've never been, but it's going to be great because you're staying at La Quinta by Wyndham. Their free Bright Side breakfast will give you energy for the day ahead. And after, you can unwind using their free high-speed Wi-Fi. Tonight, La Quinta. Tomorrow, you shine. Book your stay today at lq.com.
Due to the diesel shortage. Biden just tapped into a 25-year reserve for fuel. You're only supposed to use a little bit of that in an emergency. He's now using it every single day. We're like almost damn near empty on the reserve. It's terrible. I mean, this was just said by CEO of Freight Logistics, Mr. Sergio Gunnarazes. Said that there has been a positive recovery since pre-COVID conditions, but it's going to be a long time before we get the industry back in full force.
Price of oil, but that the Saudis backed out of that deal. What can you tell us about
So we have been very clear about how we believe parts of that report was mischaracterized, and there has been some changes that have been made to that report. Look, we've also been clear that that the president's trip to the Middle East was not about oil.
Was there an
gas prices
understanding,
go
Karine,
down
with the Saudis that the Saudis then backed away from?
Again, the trip was not about oil.
What's your thoughts on that, Kimberly?
Well, with the gas being the way it is, and with Saudi Arabia sitting up there when you have Saudi Arabia near Israel telling on Biden about, hey, look, well, Biden's out up there and want us to not do anything until after the midterm. So I'm like, okay, what does that have to do with anything? Why are you tapping into that's like the police, for instance? They have to sit up there and worry about which emergency to take care of because they don't even have enough gasoline. So him tapping into something, what is going to happen when he tap out? What is going to happen when he tap out? Like seriously, we're going to be suffering, and we were energy independent. That's what Trump made us, energy independent. So why now? Why now aren't we? Like, he is the worst president for doing this to us. All of us, we're suffering. Even Donald Trump Jr. said that he's suffering at the gas pump, and he's a millionaire.
Yeah.
Well, and look at this though, Kimberly, too. You know, why can't we impeach Joe Biden for playing politics? Like literally, you know how the Democrats impeached him, impeached President Trump or tried to. Literally, that what they're doing, what they're calling President Trump out, is exactly what they're doing, and I don't know why they can't impeach him. You know, hopefully at midterms things can change. I mean, this.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, the rate that we're going at as a country, we're not going to be a country anymore. We're just going to be at, you know, Russia's going to be telling us what to do. And then Russia and Ukraine are going to stop like their war because they're about negotiating. But then what does U.S. do? U.S. is like, oh, no, let me just accidentally bomb the Nord Stream pipeline and continue fuel this war, you know, and blame Russia, blame deflect. I wouldn't be surprised if the United States, if Joe Biden instructed to bomb the Nord Stream pipeline. I would not be surprised if he did that. I wouldn't be surprised because how are you going to keep fueling fire?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's getting bad. It really is. You want to add anything into this, Joseph?
I do think there's a little bit of just electioneering hysteria and hyperbole here. It is a concern, but I don't think there's an issue as long as bumbling Biden doesn't get us into a direct conflict with Russia. Then all bets are off, because then we're going to have to go into rationing in order to be able to supply enough diesel and oil to the war machine and in a war effort. But I mean, it's not like distilleries are shut down. More diesel is being produced every day. So yeah, the cost of diesel is going to go up due to supply and demand issues. And especially if we create a panic and a run on gas stations to fill up diesel, because it's not just trucks and cars. A lot of home generators are run on natural gas, but big diesel generators are usually what happens at a business. A business, like I used to work for Kmart, and we had huge generators with huge underground diesel tanks. So, you know, that if all those companies have, for whatever reason, need to fill their tanks at the same time as we're all going to the gas station to fill up our cars, or people try to get extra gallons of diesel. So it'll be a short-term problem, but it should only be a short-term problem. But yeah, the panic is going to cause the price to go up some before the election, but I think this problem is a bit overblown than some people are making it.
Yeah, well,
Joseph,
I mean,
but Joseph,
yeah, hold that thought. Hold that thought, Sos. I got to get this in here because I'm trying to get everybody, you know, to get their voices heard, so we don't talk over. But just listen to this here. You know, this past Tuesday, right? Just what's going on. Like Joseph says, that he doesn't seem like it's like we have a huge problem on this. But you know, I don't know if you guys seen this, but just this past Tuesday, there's been a shortage now of 78,000 drivers, and that's slightly down from 81,000.
Yeah, but that's a different issue. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
they don't want to work. You know, they don't want to work because the pay isn't good. They don't want to work because they're being burnt out. All of these great people that make wonderful pay are always being nurses, teachers, drivers. They are being burnt out, and it's not. And police officers, they're being burnt out, and it's just
they're being burnt out, but they can't even afford to pay the price at the pump. I mean, diesel now is in some states almost $10.
It's $7.39 in Wisconsin. Where we're
Yeah.
at.
Yeah. It's bad.
So, Michael, can I talk? Okay, so Joseph, but here's the thing. My question then, I want you to answer this then. Why is it that as of September, the United States gave over $1.3 billion to OPEC, and within that we signed a 5-year negotiation with Russia of a $35 billion within the next 5 years of transferring nuclear weapons, because we don't have enough nuclear weapons, so we signed a 5-year pact with Russia. We're going to give them $35 billion. I mean, the whole thing is that you look at it,
nobody knows about it.
Yeah, that's a problem. Is that we don't. I hate to say it, but what Kimberly just said, nobody knows about it, and nobody wants to look into it because that can't be true. Russia's bad. But you look at United States. What are we doing? We're fueling both sides of the war. So, can you explain to me about that, Joseph, or something?
Well,
like that? I'm trying.
Well, yeah, it's very easy to explain. Democrats are traitors to this country and engage in sedition.
But it's not Russia's fault, though.
No, I'm not. Did I say it was? I'm saying the Democrats in this country's fault. Look at Hillary Clinton signing over the uranium to the Russians before. They're our enemy. They're not our friend. And Democrats always weaken America. They're trying to destroy America from within. I mean, that's a big theme in my book. American fascocrats are as bad as foreign terrorists, even worse in some regards, because they are destroying us from within.
Yeah. And Joseph mentioned his book, guys. I want to remind the listeners too, if you haven't picked up a copy, please pick up a copy of, his book. That's, out on newsstands all over the place, doing phenomenal too. Please leave a review too if you have read the book. Terror Strikes Coming to a City Near You. Guys, I want to get into this study. From a San Francisco Federal Reserve found that historic inflation, they're saying, will not completely substantial affect the labor shortage. It's not going to affect it. They're saying, how is it not going to affect you? It's a what sauce?
It's a joke. Not going to affect that. Like, if prices go up, that's like in school, how the Pell Grant never went up, but inflation on schools went up. Donald Trump helped the historically black colleges by
savaged, unfiltered,
giving them money, and other colleges by giving them more than enough money to survive off of. But that's like, if prices go up, we will get drained penny by penny.
You notice where it came from, Kimberly, right? It came from San Francisco, of course. Pelosi's district.
We're blaming you, Kimberly. It's all your fault.
It's my fault.
And Kimberly, we're also blaming. No offense, we're also blaming you because I don't know if you heard what San Francisco is doing, but San Francisco is building a $3.5 million toilet for the public. Just one single toilet. You're paying $3.5 million for it.
You are so smart. Oh my God. Really?
Yeah, you didn't know about that? Yeah.
No, I didn't. No, I don't know everything.
No, because the socialist state, the communist California, is keeping that news quiet. Yeah. The rest of the world knows all about the joke that Gavin Newsom is in that boondoggle. Now he says he's reviewing it and they may not proceed. Well, yeah, again, he's just lying until after the election, because why? Some Democrat contractor they know who will kick back money to Newsom has the contract for that. That's why it's being done.
Yeah. Well, I just got to say that, Miss Cloud here, Kimberly Cloud, is not from San Francisco. She does reside not in San Francisco. So,
Doesn't matter. We're California, whatever. San Francisco, LA, it's all Kimberly's fault.
You put me in whatever state, it could be my fault. But the one important thing I wanted to say was that Gavin Newsom created the middle class action plan. He created a tax middle class plan, and he sat up there, and when he did it, he forgot about the smaller people, the people that, you know, are working. Like, there are people literally working in government jobs that are still homeless, that are out in DC, homeless, sleeping right down the street from DC. Even in California, there's people in California that are dying, you know, homeless. It's getting cold outside. What are we going to do? But he made this tax action plan, and what happened was you get a stimulus, $1,050 stimulus plan. And
what?
I have yet to see it. I filed my taxes on time, and I have yet to see it. Thank you, Gavin Newsom. Thank you.
Yeah.
What's that stimulus thing for anyway? You know, why is that? I don't get
go
that.
ahead.
No,
buying votes is what it's about. Buying votes.
Well, because, you know, and here's another thing that we see, okay, that, like, you know, we also have, they're sending people, like, you can get a job to go down south, like, they're veterans, like, their government's hiring veterans, and they're hiring, like, people are, like, are less off south, like, to the California, to Port of San Diego, to, like, El Paso and stuff, to, you know what, to clean toilets for the illegal immigrants and their palaces and their, like, tent cities. You know,
Terrible.
how degrading is that?
That is just not right.
It's
you know,
really.
I know your timeline, Michael Gardner. You know, in Florida, Nancy Pelosi distinctively said, she was like, well, maybe the illegal immigrants should pick crops there. And she was suggesting that to Ron DeSantis. And I was like,
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, there's a huge tension right now with DeSantis. You know, of course, with Charlie Crisp, which, you know, everybody's you know, kind of curious of what's going to happen with Florida. Oh, there's a big blue wave happening in the state of bullshit. There's a blue wave happening in Florida. Ron DeSantis is beating Charlie Crisp by a freaking landslide next week in the midterms for the elections. Charlie Crisp is going to have to go back to the drawing board, because it looks like that Ron DeSantis is going to be reelected, and it's killing him right now.
Yeah. Now, let's just concede the point, or for sake of argument, let's concede to Nancy. Okay, Americans
I did it because I was feeling this way.
Grapes or pick apples or pick oranges.
Yeah.
You don't need 5 million illegals to do those jobs. So even if we concede her point, it is a moot point, because they're allowing far more people than just people looking to, quote, pick crops, unquote.
Oh,
yes, you're right. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Kimberly here. I gotta wrap it up here with you, Sue, because we have another guest joining us here from Florida here. Do you have any final thoughts of what we're discussing today? And, you know, if anything you want to bring into the show?
Well, you know, one thing I want to say is thank you, Joseph, for allowing me to use your footage as a commercial, and thank you for your insights. You know, thank you, Michael Gardner. Thank you, everybody that's on the line. And my last thoughts are that pretty much, you know, it is the inflation, the economy, the way that we're living today, you know, in fear. You know, over 1,000 murders happened, you know, in Philadelphia in the past 20 months. You know, this clown show we call
What must be what? What must be what?
Called the January 6th insert, you know, clown show.
Yeah.
You know,
we need
to really, you know, you're gonna have to invite me back so I can talk about
that. I'll invite you back on that. We're gonna have to discuss that. I'll give another spoiler. That will be in my book this December 30th. I'm coming out with a book, folks. That's right. America's Political Warfare, Our Modern Civil War, out everywhere. December 30th, 2022. I highly suggest you pick that copy up. But yeah, I'm definitely going to invite you back, Kimberly. Definitely going to invite you back. I have actually my next guest. He's freaking texting and emailing us here left and right. So I'm going to have to depart here with you soon. I don't want to hold him up too much, but yeah, we'll definitely invite you back on a next upcoming edition here.
Can I ask you a question, Michael? Just real quick. It'll take a minute. Is it my fault I'm just joking. I had to do that.
Today is blame Kimberly Day, so yes, it is.
I love you, Joseph. I love you.
I love you too, Kimberly.
Yeah,
Y'all take care, okay?
That's not your fault, Kimberly. Guys, as Kimberly departs here, I want to remind the listeners, please hit that like and follow button on Kimberly's YouTube channel. You can find her, The Kimberly Cloud Show. Kimberly, it's been an honor. Thank you for coming on.
Kimberly, so much.
Yeah.
Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye now.
It is a myth that terrorism stopped during COVID. Unfortunately, mainstream media opted to prioritize pandemic hysteria over promoting all news. Terrorism continues. Simply hoping that it doesn't affect you is not a strategy. The new book, Terror Strikes, coming soon to a city near you, featured on The Author Show, is now available in paperback from bookstores, online, or as an ebook exclusively through Amazon Kindle. Terror Strikes, coming soon to a city near you by Joseph M. Leonard. Order today.
Savaged, unfiltered.
Alrighty, guys. So as we're waiting here for Mel Chang, which will be the next guest here joining us here on the show, there was an issue that we had, with Kimberly. There was some tensions, rise, and I might have said something, and I do apologize, but, I didn't think it was going to upset her, but, it was great that we can kind of squash that on the air, you know what I mean?
I didn't know there was tension between you guys.
There was a little bit back in May of this year. I've said something to her. I was on her show, actually, and, something was said that, I've probably kind of crossed the line a little bit. You know how you get heated up on the show and, your character comes right in. I mean, yeah. Joseph can vouch for me right there. That's just sometimes, you say things and, you don't mean to say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But other than that, we're going to have Mr. Mel Chang joining us, guys. He is running for Indiatlantic in his district there, which is not too far from me. It's only about maybe 35 minutes east of me. This gentleman, folks, we're about to bring on is actually the victim of an attack that I mentioned on the show. Joseph, I think you were on that panel with me. Remember when we discussed that with the rake incident?
Oh, yeah. Now that you mentioned the rake, it rings a bell, yeah.
Yeah. This is the gentleman that will be joining us here momentarily. I just sent him the invite, so let him prep for his mic and his audio. So should give him about another maybe minute or two, if that, depending on, I don't know.
Taking a rake to him is a bit extreme because I've seen his picture and he doesn't look like he's a pile of leaves.
What's that?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Ralph got the bad joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it.
Went right over the head. Yeah.
That's a good joke. That's a good joke, Joseph.
Well, some people's face kind of looks pineapple-y, but he doesn't look like a pile of leaves.
No. He's running like hell. I mean, I know there's a lot of campaign funding going into his campaign there in Brevard County, Florida. And I know he had some type of issue with the, I guess you could say it's now former mayor of Indiatlantic. I mean, he is still in prison right now and he's facing a first-degree battery charge. I mean, who the hell does that?
Is he running for a state office or a federal office? I've run for office myself. It was strictly state and county offices.
Well, so he's running for the district. He's running for district. What is that? District 4? Yeah, District 4. Yeah, I had to look it up.
Yeah, but is that a House district or the congressional district?
No, that's a local district. It's
okay,
yeah, like a county district. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's difficult enough to run for those. I can attest. I've run several times before. And I can't imagine, though, the people currently, and thankfully to them, if any of you are listening out there, that, the Mama Bear and Papa Bear patriots that have stepped up this election cycle and said enough is enough. They can't any longer sit on the sidelines. I've been there. I've done that. I can't imagine how a congressional district race, how difficult that would be, and the hard part is always trying to raise money, because unless if you're independently wealthy, I mean, I went through a lot of my own money back then just for those races, but a congressional district race, you almost need to raise millions of dollars.
Oh, yeah. Well, hold that thought, Joseph. I want to welcome Mel Chang in the discussion here, joining us here on the show, Savage Unfiltered. Welcome, sir. Welcome. How are you doing?
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for being part of the show. Mel, we were discussing a little bit about you. Don't worry, nothing bad. Actually, very, very good. I want to get into some things with you here. On a good scale, not a bad scale, because I have looked at your campaign, sir, and I must say you are running like hell right now in that area of Brevard County. So.
It's a good thing I'm a former triathlete and marathon runner.
Yeah.
Now, what county is it? I thought it was Broward. You said Brevard.
No, Brevard. It's Brevard County.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, he's only actually the county east of me, Joseph. I reside in Orange County. He's in Brevard, which is like what? You're like what? Like maybe 45 minutes east of Orlando, right?
About 50.
Oh, 50. Well, I was off 5. Okay.
Yeah. And depending on traffic.
Depending on traffic on a good day, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the way Michael drives, everything's cut in half. He's got a lot of speeding tickets.
Oh, don't tell
Michael,
him that.
you're a speeder?
No, I'm not a speeder. Don't. Oh God, no. No. Mr. Mel Chang actually resides not too far from Cape Canaveral. Actually, that's known as the Space Coast area of Florida. So, yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So Mel, can you explain the incident? Like what? I mean, I'm wondering, how did a rake end up like? Can you explain to us exactly what happened? Like what transpired?
Well, the incident was a town broadcast for all residents to come down and help clean up the park, which I participated in. And there's been some rub between myself and the mayor over the years. So anyways, for this particular day, I showed up and I was on one end of the park helping some other residents pick up branches and leaves, and some public works folks clean up on one end of the park. And shortly thereafter, the mayor beelined it across the park towards me and started aggressively verbally assaulting me, I kept my cool, and it was okay. I've heard it before. I've seen it before. And
Mel, I got to step in. I'm sorry, sir. I don't mean to interrupt, but this is the mayor of Indiatlantic, Florida, coming after a political, candidate such as yourself with a rake. And
that's true.
This is right after Hurricane Ian. You guys were cleaning up. You were doing, a good deed to the community.
Correct.
What happened? What got him to that level? Was there some type of dispute or some type of, maybe dialogue that he didn't agree with or something?
I didn't say a word to him that entire day until after he threatened me and hit me with the rake in the face, and then he walked off. That's when I actually spoke, the first time I spoke to him. And it's all recorded. The video was turned over to the police, and consequently he was arrested.
Yeah, Mel, this is getting a lot of national attention from the state of Florida. I know there was a some type of decision coming up in that area, as well as the a few Republican committees in the state of Florida now demanding Governor Ron DeSantis to bar him from leadership of mayor of Indiatlantic. What's been going on with that? Is he going to be suspended from running in November, or is he completely suspended altogether?
He is not suspended as of today.
What?
I don't think the governor is going to pursue anything till after the election. The mayor.
Otherwise it would look completely politically motivated, right?
I couldn't say that for sure, but the propensity for that suggestion is great.
Yep. Yeah, and the other thing is too, it happened in public. There were a lot of witnesses. This happened. This is not a Smollett hoax. It's not a God knows what's going on with the Paul Pelosi situation that doesn't add up, and everybody's questioning, all the facts around that. And so, I mean, because there are a lot of pre-election hoaxes that happen. Throughout the South, you could find case after case of Southern Democrats either vandalizing or even setting fire to their own offices in order to blame an opposition candidate to garner sympathy for election. But we know yours is a real incident. It happened, and there were witnesses, and there's actual criminal charges that need to be pursued.
Correct. Berkman had his arraignment this morning or today. The court has. I've been in dialogue with the court, and his arraignment was today. I chose to rather continue to garner votes than spend my time in the courthouse watching what's going on with him. That was a choice on my part, and I think the voters are more important at this point.
Oh, absolutely.
1 week left than worrying about Berkman's arraignment.
Yeah, absolutely. I do want to say to the listeners here that if you are not familiar with Indiatlantic, it does represent a very small area, a little north of Melbourne, Florida, where this had happened. And obviously, it's on a barrier island that makes up several barrier islands of Brevard County. Mel, I want to get into something here besides the rake incident, which I do send my condolences to you and your family that are dealing with this, because just because he's a mayor, it does not give him the right to pick up a rake and hit somebody in the head because he's freaking mad. I mean, the guy sounded like he was a maniac, a lunatic for doing this. Now, obviously, the leadership that is in control here of Indiatlantic would be the lieutenant mayor, right? Is there a lieutenant? I know there's a lieutenant governors, but is there like a lieutenant mayor or somebody that's
usually a mayor pro tem? Yeah, mayor pro tem or a deputy mayor, right?
Deputy mayor.
Yeah. So what's going to happen with this guy? Is he going to be, obviously he's still in prison. So, I mean, is he going to be released on bail? Or
No, he's been released from custody for a while now. The day he was arrested, he posted bond. I think he was out of the Brevard jails within 4 hours or 5 hours after he was arrested.
What was his bond?
His bond was $500.
Oh,
it's just a battery.
It's a first degree misdemeanor. Yeah, it's it's a very light misdemeanor here in the state of Florida, Sos. They consider that it is considered a weapon. Obviously, he's using it as a weapon, but it's not considered as if he was using like a sledgehammer or a gun or something. It would be a different type of charge. But Mel, look at this for your race here. It's strengthening your race right now, because of this. Obviously, it has drawn a lot of, national attention across the country as well as Florida. What is the Republican environment here in Florida saying about all this? I mean, have you spoken to Ron DeSantis about this? Is he on board with your movement, your presence in Indiatlantic?
I'm told by the Brevard Republican committee that yes, the Republicans do support me as a Republican. However, this town is a nonpartisan election.
Yeah, mayor races usually are.
The issues at the national level for Republicans aren't even in play for here in Indiatlantic. We're more worried about the local issues and what we can do locally for our residents.
How big is that? How big is your race? Like, what's the overall population of the area?
The population is roughly about 2,800, and we occupy about 1 square mile.
Okay,
wow.
So
my
that's a small
my
race.
hometown is bigger than that. I'm in Wyandotte, Michigan, with 10,000 people. So yeah, you're actually pretty rural there then.
Yeah, I did mention that it was guys, I'm familiar with this area. It's a very, very small area. I mean, the town alone, probably what Mel, right? About a mile, if that?
Yeah, 1 square mile.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. I was thinking it was at least bigger than, and I don't want to get hung up on this, but details matter. I'm still, like Sos, I think, hung up on the rake aspect. Now, did he come at you with the blunt end, the wood handle end, or did he come at you with the
rake end?
The rake end. Now, was this the bamboo or plastic, or was this metal?
No, it was a plastic. It was a
like a Walmart kind of rake or something.
Like
it was a plastic rake. It was a fan rake.
Okay, a fan rake. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that matters opposed to one of those metal prong rakes would have done some major damage, and even with that, he could have put out your eyes.
Yes, yeah, I was lucky. I was recording the incident, and had I not had my phone, positioned close to my face.
Indiatlantic Mayor Dave Berkman was arrested on a battery charge after he struck town council candidate Mel Chang in the face with a leaf rake during a post-Hurricane Ian cleanup at a town park, an Indiatlantic Police Department probable cause affidavit said. The political rivals have spent years feuding via social media and email, with Berkman accusing Chang of making anti-Semitic remarks, and in 2020, Berkman unsuccessfully sought an injunction of protection against Chang. You can read the full story in Rick Neal's subscriber-exclusive report on FloridaToday.com.
I think the rake would have probably hit the entire face. It did hit my face, but my hand, the face, and the phone kind of absorbed.
It blunted some of the force, thankfully.
Yes.
So
correct.
The question is that what provoked him though? There's got to be some kind of you just can't have. Unless if he's mentally ill, you just can't have. Hey, I see that guy. He's running. I'm going to hit him and cause something. There's got to be some kind of a bad.
Well, my supposition with his behavior is he does have some lingering issues, mental issues. I've sent that to the council numerous times over the years. It's documented with other residents where he's aggressively gone in front of their houses and verbally accosted. This isn't the first time.
Yeah, that's important to note. It's very important to note and have documented. Yeah, this was
there's other video of him being very aggressive with other residents. And
so he's got anger issues.
Then why not push for a recall? Like why couldn't they push for a recall? Like when those.
That's what they were doing. They were the citizens of Bavar there in that area, and then of course other people that were channeling around this situation were calling and demanding for a recall. They don't. This mayor should. If he has anger issues, he shouldn't be mayor. He should seek counseling.
I posed that to the council, and quite honestly, I never heard back from anybody from the council. I posed it to the police chief. There are multiple complaints, not only by myself, but by other residents against the mayor, and they've gone on deaf ears.
You asked. We didn't waffle. Well, we did make waffles. The waffle breakfast sandwich has returned to Racetrack. The stack is back.
Yeah, listen to this, Mel. This is coming from a democratic, type of demeanor of of a statement from the president of the United States, Joe Biden, saying all MAGA Republicans are terrorists.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Apparently, the guy that hits you is a Democrat, and he has an issue. So who's the real?
He's an NPA. He's a registered NPA.
Oh,
yeah, now,
well, that's even worse.
Yeah, I've got if you go to terrorstrikes.info under the More tab, extras, press releases, I did a press release on this because it's, I wrote a book on terrorism, and this notion that the greatest threat to anyone in this nation is right-wing terrorism is pure nonsense. And you could go to terrorstrikes.info/press-releases and see that. It's just absurd. And I don't remember. I quoted some other people in that press release who, the data shows it. The left only has hyperbolic lies on their side. The data shows who the real threats are, and we know it's the Antifa and BLM rioters, arsonists, looters, murderers.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
it is.
Well, okay, so here's Mel. Here's another thing. Okay, why is like the city council on deaf ears? I mean, because you guys are citizens, and to me, why can't you guys get together and recall individually those people? Like start at one council member and then go after another, and then eventually do a mass. Because all it takes is 2/3 of 2,800 people to make a recall successful, to make a push for a recall vote. It takes 2 3/4 of the city's population. I mean, to me, that's. I mean, I hate to say it, I tried doing that with our governor, and it didn't work because we were under COVID, and he changed stipulations. But do you think that could work or no?
For our little town, probably not.
I was going to say, Mel, I mean, Sos, you got to remember, this town is only a mile, 1 square mile. The population of Indiatlantic is like, it doesn't even cover 1 million people. I mean, let alone what, Mel, right? Maybe like what, 8,000, 9,000 people, if that?
Our population is roughly at 3,000.
3,000, yeah.
Because I live in Madison, Wisconsin, and it's 1.4 million.
Well, it's a bigger area, Sos. You just heard Mel. Mel said it. There's only like 3,000 people in this town,
It's a very small population, and you got to consider that the mayor's been in power for 18 years.
That's
and the deputy mayor is just as his tenure is roughly the same, or if not more. We have 2 new council members. I wouldn't say new. They've been there for 4 years now. We have a new mayor this year. He ran unopposed, and the deputy mayor ran unopposed at the last minute. Both of them had candidacies running against them, and at the 12th hour, or 11 hours and 59 seconds, 59 minutes. The other 2 candidates pulled out, and the deputy mayor ran unopposed, and the new mayor, Mark McDermott,
I wonder what they were promised to do that, right?
Well, there's a book somebody wrote, and I haven't read it yet, but somebody told me to go get it. It's about the corruptness of Brevard County.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if anybody else has read that book, but
that's it, Mel. Mel, I have read that book. That's a tremendous book. They labeled it correctly. There's a lot of corruption in Brevard. I can tell you that.
So I haven't had a chance to read the book, and that is
savaged,
one of my platforms. Why I'm running in this particular race is to reset the culture of the government. Where it's of the people and by the people, and not the selected few. Yeah.
Since we're on this topic, Mel, what do you think's going on with this supposedly? And this is what they're saying. I don't know if it's got to be a fear-mongering tactic or something by the left, but they're saying there's a blue wave here in Florida. Do you see a blue wave in Florida?
I do not.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't. For my city, there's no red or blue here in Indiatlantic at the local level. Now at the state level and the national level, yes, I see signs in people's yard, blue and red. And that's by choice of each individual, and I'm okay with that. But
yeah, the only
by trade, there's probably 1,500 Republicans out of the 3,000 here in Indiatlantic, probably 800 Democrats, and the rest are NPAs.
Yeah. The only blue wave they're seeing is when they go to the Florida coast and look at the ocean.
Yeah. There's. I could tell you.
I figured you'd like that one.
Yeah, I can tell you guys. I mean, as a resident here in Florida, the only blue I see here is probably Orlando or Jacksonville, maybe small parts of Tampa. That's about it.
See, I feel bad. So Mel, I feel bad because I pick on Michael because I look at polls and stuff, and they're like I said that on my end we see that there's going to be a massive blue wave across Wisconsin, across Florida, and across Texas. And I mean, it's like it's hard to believe. You don't know what to believe unless you talk to the residents there. When you go around the neighborhoods, what mostly signs do you see exempting the mayor race? What do you see mostly?
Republican signs.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all you see, Sos. Like you see a lot of obviously it's the ticket here with DeSantis and Chris. You see a lot of DeSantis signs. You see a lot of the only Chris sign you see is probably, like I said, in highly Democratic areas. That is
in trailer parks.
Yeah.
Trailer parks maybe.
Well, you gotta remember though, yard signs aren't votes. The only thing that matters is the votes on election day, and we've got that going on here because of the threat of left-wing violence. There's a whole lot of people who won't put out a Tudor Dixon for governor sign because of fear of left-wing violence. So you can't necessarily judge by signs. Like, look at Trump. 2016, they were, in 2020, there were far less Trump signs about because of the fear of the left-wing violence. But Trump got millions more votes, and if not for the fraud, won that election. So, signage is nothing to gauge by, but you do want to see them to see people are supporting you. But what matters is people getting off their ass and getting out to vote.
Yeah.
Well, not only getting out to vote, but understanding the dynamics of who they're voting for and why they're voting. I've had a lot of constituents here talk about the reasons they're voting locally as well as nationally. And I think it comes back to values, the value system of the parties that are at the national level. And they're quite different values. If you look at the history of politics.
Yeah, I agree. Mel, we were talking about earlier in the show here with this diesel shortage. Where do you see that going? Obviously, it's coming back into the the political specter. The media is covering it somewhat to an extent, but do you see it improving at all? I'm not sure. I mean, I see Florida. The state average for fuel here in Florida is roughly $3.25. Diesel a little bit more, going into the almost $4 mark, $5 mark. Well, $4.50 actually. Do you see that the fuel is going to improve here in the country, or where do you see it going?
I don't see an issue with the fuel.
At Evernorth Health Services, we believe costs shouldn't get in the way of life-changing care, and we're doing everything in our power to make it possible. Behavioral health solutions that also keep your projections at their best? It's possible. Pharmacy benefits that benefit your bottom line? It's possible. Complex specialty care that cares about your ROI? It's possible. Because we're already doing it. All while saving businesses billions. That's Wonder made possible. Learn more at evernorth.com/wonder.
The reserves are plentiful. A lot of this is a bigger stage in the international market than anything else.
Yeah.
Locally, I just don't see the impact. I just don't.
Yeah, I was just mentioning earlier in the show, Mel, with trucks and railroad. I'm seeing more freight cars on the rails more than ever here in Florida. I was in Brevard County actually a couple days ago, and somebody was saying to me, Michael, we usually have about maybe 5 to 6 freight cars going up and down the east coast of Florida from Miami to Jacksonville. I said, yeah, the East Coast corridor on Florida. She says it's going from 6 to almost 12 a day now. Do you think it's going to go further, or do you think it's going to stay within that 6 to 12 mark? Because obviously it's affecting the diesel. There was just a report coming out just this past Tuesday with shortages of truck drivers at 78,000, Mel. 78,000. That's it's a lot.
It is. I think each modal is going to change depending on the pricing. Whether it's by air, by train, by bus, by truck. Each of them has its own pluses and minuses, but it's going to depend on how we're going to get our oil and the price that's going to come, into the state.
Yeah. Well, I read something coming out of Tucker the other day, and Tucker labeled this on the show. This is literally the America under Biden.
A huge percentage of Europe's energy came from Russia. Those imports have now been banned, supposedly to punish Vladimir Putin. What's the result of this punishment? Well, the Russian ruble is now far stronger than it was.
We are running out of diesel, and the diesel surplus is going to get worse and worse and worse, and possibly after the midterms, which is next week, folks. Yeah, it's like literally right underneath the curtain. They're going to run on this, Mel. They're going to run on this, the left, and they're going to use this. And now the Biden administration is going into panic mode, and they're now blaming the GOP. It's all the GOP fault.
You have to blame somebody.
Yeah. Well, you got to blame somebody, but you can't blame the former president, Mel. He's no longer in office, right? You got to blame the person that's in control right now.
And that's the truism there. The buck stops here. The buck stops here is a quote I remember very famous.
Michael Gardner, unfiltered.
President.
Yeah, good stuff. Mel, I want to thank you for coming on. I do want to thank you for your patience. I know we were, in between over the weekend with trying to, find the correct time. So I want to apologize on my behalf. I was, tossing and turning. I have a producer on the show, Mackenzie, but she's in another country right now doing other lines of work. So it's pretty much just myself, so I'm doing all the, the hosting, the production, the editing. So it's a little rough on me right now, but I do want to thank you for your patience. I want to thank you and coming on the show and sharing your story with that crazy maniac of a mayor there in Indiatlantic.
My personal take is I hope he gets the maximum amount by the statutes.
Oh, yeah.
He's deserving of it.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Crazy nonsense. No one, whether they're in the political field or, any average Joe on the street should have to put up with that nonsense. Just because you don't agree with something, don't pick up something like you're 5 years old, folks, and fucking pick up the damn rake and hit somebody in the head. I mean, come on. We have morals. We have common morale to an extent. I hope we do. But I agree with you, Mel. The people there in Indiatlantic should look at this incident as a reminder of how people get, and go forward from that. Anything you want?
I appreciate your time.
Yeah, I was about to say, anything you want to plug into the show before we depart here, sir?
Nope. I just want people to recognize, go to my web Facebook page, look at my story. I have a web page as well. It's Chang for Change, Facebook. And if you like my story, you like what I'm trying to do for the community, for the city, and for the people here, please vote for me.
Yeah, please do. And folks, this is Mr. Mel Chang running for that district there, council, and that's a council 4, right? If I have that correct, Mel? Yes.
D4.
So council 4. Yes, sir. Guys, the midterms are next week. Please keep Mel Chang in your thoughts. If you haven't voted, please vote for Mel Chang. He wants to bring difference to that area of Brevard County, and you want to bring a difference to this country as well, too.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Mel, for joining us today, sir. And you have a great rest.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir.
Cheers.
All right.
Thank you,
Cheers. All righty. So, guys, what'd you think? We're about to, kind of call it quits here in a minute here because I got to make some time for Sos's show. I do a thank you, Sos, for allowing me to go 5-6 minutes over, but I think it deserved the floor.
You're good.
Yeah.
No, you're good. It's good to take time, and it's good to, I think it's important that we have to have very healthy conversations and get, instruct people and not instruct, but educate what's really going on. And Joseph, you got to check out our next episode that we're going to do, on my episode. We're going to talk about why the church is being attacked, more like why did the painting of the Last Supper in England get defecated on, and all for political. Why are they attacking the church? And you see that more and more, even with the drag shows and the persecution of it. And why are they hitting it? Not
Jesus said they would hate us because they hate him. So
yeah. So it's gonna be a very interesting. It's gonna be an hour exclusive, and it's gonna be it's gonna be promoted heavily, and so you're gonna have to check it out.
Oh yeah, hold that sauce. Hold that sauce. Hold that sauce. Yeah, guys.
Hold that. What are you talking to, Mackenzie? Is she cooking spaghetti?
No.
I'm talking to my girlfriend.
She's gonna air it. Yeah, she's gonna FedEx it from Milan. Yeah.
And Joseph, he is probably talking about my girlfriend as well. So he's talking to 2 of them.
Yeah. Either that or somebody's got a pint off on the side there. He's talking about another kind of being sauced.
No. Sauce. Joseph, Sos had a really, really interesting night the other night. He went to a basketball game, and I was joking and everything, and I'm like, did you give her the French Whistler sauce? But anyways, Joseph.
Right.
Yeah, Joseph, before we leave, man, what'd you think of Mel? I mean, we were just discussing this a couple weeks ago with the rake incident, man.
Well, we didn't really go into where he stands on many issues. So I kind of got a reserved judgment, but if it is indeed true that the GOP is supporting him in a nonpartisan race, then
they are, Joseph.
De facto, I would be somebody I would think I would support then.
Yeah, they are. The GOP is supporting him, because he is running on a nonpartisan ticket. Yep. He's not running on a Democrat or a Republican ticket, and we're seeing that a lot here in Central Florida. We're seeing a lot of bipartisan candidates stepping up. I mean, it's good, if they, but does it? I mean, but here's my question as we close it. Do you think a person running on that type of ticket, do you think that does damage to either party?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. What do you think, Sos?
That they nonpartisan, I think it's, I think you have to kind of toil the line with nonpartisan, but at the same time, I don't, if you have your yard sign stating, like one Charlie Chris, and then your next door neighbor has a yard sign stating, like DeSantis, but at the same time it's nonpartisan, you can kind of figure out, okay, maybe it's not partisan after all, So you kind of have to be very conscientious, and like what Joseph said, it was hard to figure out what he stands on, especially in your local communities, like your tax dollars and stuff. And I think it's important we should ask him a little bit more questions on that. But
yeah, we would love to have more questions on it, but you got to remember, guys. I mean, you got to remember the morale, the mental estate that this guy's going through. I mean, he was assaulted by a freaking maniac of a
Yeah. Well, I was talking about false flags. I wanted to mention too this whole Festerman garbage. His supposed sign being torched. Yeah. The only person torching the sign and is there to catch it on video means it's you're the person who torched it, or the person who is going to torch it to be there to film it. A sign would burn rather quickly. But to claim you come upon a burning sign, it's not like a burning cross made of wood that would burn for a while. So, I mean, the whole Festerman thing is clearly a Smollett hoax. And like I mentioned, past cases of Southern Democrats burning their own offices to try and, blame their opponents. And several of them have been charged and in jail. So, there's a lot of hoaxes going on, but Mel's case, clearly it happened. There were witnesses, the guy's being charged.
Yeah, it was an interesting guest we had. I think it was a really good episode with Mel Chang, on the rest of the podcast. And then we had Kimberly Cloud that we haven't seen in a while. And I thought it was a good show. Guys, we're going to close out here. I want to make a quick announcement here before we depart here. Because I got to get off the air here. I got to get on Sos's show. But guys, I want to remind the listeners tomorrow for Tuesday, we will be doing a premium show that will be only available to the subscribers on the show here on Spotify. The premiums are only available on Spotify. It's an exclusive premium episode. You can subscribe to the channel. Guys, I keep it low. It's only 49 cents a month. You can't afford 50 cents a month. There's a problem here, But guys, tomorrow on the premium show, tune out, guys. We're gonna have a story that literally will probably melt the internet world. Let's just say it like that. You got to hear this story. I was talking to a gentleman the other day. Yes, it will be a pre-recorded episode, but I wanted to save it for Tuesday. I did not want to plug it into today's episode. So check out the premium show tomorrow, guys. That's right, tomorrow on our exclusive Spotify subscription. With that being said, guys, I'm gonna close it out, guys. Remember, pick up Joseph's book, Terror Strikes Coming to a City Near You. Still available on Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble. And remember to give him a good review on his page there on Amazon. And then also, too, guys, make sure you hit that like and follow button on Soslin's Spotify show. And he's also on iHeartRadio. Remember, God loves you, and I'll meet you at the finish line. And two, guys, if you have enough time, give me 5 stars on Spotify. I really appreciate it. Being said, guys, we're going to depart. I'm out of here. Thank you very much, Joseph. Thank you very much, Soslin. And
all right, take care.
Take it easy, bud.